We are live once again, the Bullheaded Podcast. I am here with Zoo and Peebush. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, man. We got some big news today, some good series going on, but a lot of crazy topics in the NBA today.
Yeah, this morning, man, it was like news after news, and it's not good news. It's definitely not good news. But all this sad news coming out all at once. I'm just like, dang, NBA's going crazy right now.
Yeah, I think the bomb started dropping right around 9:15, 9:30, and I think it's funny how they strategically put those out right before the debate shows start getting into going, so they can start talking about it and things like that. So, I kind of wanted to start off with some good news, I guess, if you're a Nets fan, with KD just absolutely putting the team on his back. Impressed the hell out of me, I'm not going to lie. The 10 assists were pretty dope. Shout out to Jeff Green. Got every gray hair imaginable, but it's still out there draining threes and getting to the bucket. So shout out to him. But it was KD's night, man. He put the team on his back, and I want to talk to the guys just about, his performance and what this does for the Brooklyn Nets. And Zoo, I'm going to start with you, man. What you think?
Kevin Durant, man, he's in a different class compared to Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. Kevin Durant, legit, he went a one-man army because you got Harden, who was on one leg. The dude could not play any defense, couldn't drive, couldn't even shoot a three-pointer. Like, the dude should not have played, but he had to play because Kyrie got injured with an ankle injury. So Kevin Durant's like looking around like Joe Harris. Don't know what happened to Joe Harris, the white sniper. He pulled a Casper the Ghost, man. He disappeared, but he got replaced by Jeff Green, who came on 7 threes, man. He was incredible, man. Jeff Green's a really good basketball player. He's a two-way player, man. He's a really good shooter. He plays defense. He's like the nice, veteran guy. Like, he's in that mode of the Jay Crowder. Nice veteran guy, can play defense, can hit a three.
Yep.
Like, he stepped up, and he was pretty much the only option outside of Kevin Durant with a legendary performance, a virtuoso performance, man. Missed the free throw for the 50-point triple-double, man. That's the only thing he did bad in that game, man. 49, 17, and 10. One of the greatest playoff performances of all time in the history of the game against a Bucks team that was whooping their butt in the first half. Like, Giannis was like, man, I'm feeling it, man, getting to the lane. I'm like, man, stop.
Even hit a three?
Make a free throw. Yeah, Giannis was great. He drank 2 threes, man.
2 threes.
He hit a mid-range, man. He actually hit some jump shots for the first time ever. I'm like, nah, man, if you give Giannis a shot and he makes it, I'll live with it, man. Because, in the second half, man, Giannis got exposed again with this awful free throw shooting and his hesitation, man. You see that in the game, man?
Yes.
Like, Charles Barkley called out. He got the pass from Chris Middleton with a nice little drive, little dump off. Giannis with an opportunity for an open dunk to tie the game. Like, that was a great drive by Chris Middleton.
Great move.
He just fumbled it, man. He fumbled to Kwame Brown, man. He fumbled the basketball, man. That was so bad. Oh, man. And Giannis, man. This is their year. This is the year. Like, the star is aligning with all the negative stuff happening in the league right now with injuries, COVID protocol. All these things are happening. The one team that's healthy is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
And they laid an egg against a team that they should have won, but Kevin Durant pulled off a Mount Rushmore type performance, man. And I got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah. I mean, Zoo, I think, a couple months ago, you had KD on your Mount Rushmore, man.
Not surprised at all, man.
Right.
Fourth overall, baby. I'm taking Kevin Durant. That kind of performance, man.
Look, man, that was one of the best offensive and just all-around performances. I mean, him getting 17 rebounds, he's not a box-out guy. He stepped up defensively, and there were so many people talking about how, without Kyrie and without James, they're asking Durant to be a facilitator. And he's never really had to do that in his entire career. And he stepped up in that fashion, and he got 10 assists. I was mind blown at the shots he was hitting. The one he hit with about 50 seconds left, shot clock ending, classic KD shot. I think there's might be only two players in the league, maybe KD and Dame that can hit a type of shot like that. Especially with how contested it was. But Zoo, I gotta say, obviously hats off to KD, but the Bucks lost that game. The Nets did not win it. The Bucks lost that game, man. They were up 17 going into halftime, man. They were pushing through, and Giannis just started settling. He started settling. And there's that one play, and I think Charles Barkley pointed it out post-game, when, late in the fourth quarter, Giannis got on the block with Harden guarding him, and Harden pushed away the help defense.
Get out of here. What do we want?
And he's pushing him down to the block, and he decides to do a fadeaway baseline on
Worst
the left
shot of
side
the
of the
game.
hoop. Worst shot of the game, worst decision. I swear that sometimes Giannis's, his decision making on the court, especially in his one-on-one game, he tries that like shimmy crossover.
You see that turnover? He just runs in out of control in the fourth.
Because his only good move is his sidestep and finish, right? With the right hand. No matter which way he goes, he's finishing with the right. So he's got a very one-dimensional player. He's extremely explosive, and he had a very nice game. I mean, he had like 32 and 14 rebounds, something like that.
Very high. He showed up 34 and 12. Like that, those are good numbers.
34 and 12. Yeah. But the thing is, Zoo, is in the last 2 minutes of the game, who are you giving the ball to? Because you can't feed Giannis.
It's Chris Middleton, man.
But they don't run plays for him. They instead give it to Giannis, and then they just hack him. So I partially, I think it's Budenholzer. He needs to change his offensive scheme towards the end of the games. Trust that Chris Middleton can hit shots, because he's hit big shots for the Bucks. Whether that be in this playoffs, he hit one nice one against the Heat, and just throughout his career. He's a nice player who can make a good decision on a mid-range jump shot, especially when it's a close game like yesterday. He made a great decision, crossed up KD, like you said, Zoo, drops off to Giannis, and Giannis pulls a Nelson Aguilar, man. I mean, it was just brutal to watch. I'm sitting there like that. I mean, that would have tied the game if I remember correctly. It would have tied the game. It would have forced likely into overtime, but instead we got into the free throw battle. But man, I mean, with back to the Nets though, with Harden going 1 for 10, I got to give credit to Harden. He did play over 40 minutes in the game, and he did have
46
minutes.
He was on the bench for 2 minutes,
and Durant played every minute of the game, and it was just a heart and soul performance by not the entire Nets, but a handful of Nets players that was enough to overcome the mistakes made by the Bucks. Man, that's really what it came down to. Was the Bucks' mistakes were greater than than what the Nets were doing, and the Nets had just enough to take it over. And hopefully Harden gets his legs underneath him after this day or two of rest, and he can come back and at least give him 18 to 22 points and dish out way more assists, so that Durant can go back to being the 50-point scorer that he can be. But he still got 10 assists, scored nearly 50 points. I mean, it's ridiculous. So it was a great game, one of my favorite games to watch this year, but it was extremely frustrating, man, on the Bucks side. I couldn't understand what they were doing.
Yeah, offensively, basketball. James Harden was laboring. Just by watching Harden going up the court, he was having trouble staying in front of anyone. If you do a little dribble move, some crossovers on the perimeter, you can probably blow by Harden and target him on defense, but they didn't really target him. I only saw a couple times Drew Holiday drove in the lane, had a layup. But I saw Drew Holiday jacking up a three-pointer, Harden with the hand in the face, jacking up a mid-range. Drew Holiday, you're a $40 million player.
Yep.
You got to show up.
17.
Drew Holiday, you getting paid $40 million. You got 19 points on less than 50% shooting against a player that's on a hamstring that's keeping him from being James Harden right now, and he didn't show up. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo, former Defensive Player of the Year. I feel like this guy barely guarded Kevin Durant.
Never.
He didn't guard him at all.
I swear to God, I just saw him in the corner with my boy Landry Shamet, man, camping there. Landry Shamet, and then you got PJ Tucker and Chris Middleton working his ass off trying to guard Kevin Durant. I'm like, let's maybe switch it up a little, man. Giannis got great length, 6'11", same size, longer arms than KD. They're physically similar players, and you could try to see if he could slow them down. But Budenholzer surprisingly didn't put Giannis on him. I don't know, saving his legs or anything, but no excuses. KD's playing 48 minutes.
Yep.
If anyone deserves to be tired, it's Kevin Durant. Dude's off a torn Achilles, and he's dropping one of the greatest performances of all time. While Giannis, I don't know, man. After the game, best player on the planet. I'm just hoping he missed. Play some defense, please. Play some defense, man. I'm sorry. PJ Tucker, dude's 6'5", man. He's trying his butt off. There's so much a man can do when you're 6'5" with short arms, man.
Especially when he's averaging over 5 fouls a game, damn near. He's almost fouling out every single game because he's guarding Durant, man. I mean, what do you do? They and I will give credit to the Bucks because down 2-0. I know that all the injuries and stuff, but games 3 and 4, man, they upped their defensive scheme and they kind of figured out what to do with double teaming Durant, at least making his life harder. But look, I can't hate Giannis for not guarding him all the time because I'm sure PJ Tucker's I want Kevin Durant. He's that type of guy.
Chris Middleton?
No,
he
but
ain't
not
no,
Chris
he ain't no
Middleton.
stopper. Chris
That's
Middleton
different.
played him a lot.
Yes,
when
he
like
did.
PJ
He
Tucker
did.
was getting foul problems.
But-
like he came
but
in
like-
and was like stepping up as a defender. Wow,
But
Giannis.
like you said, Zoo, he had a godlike performance, man. It was bound to happen. It just happened to be in the most pivotal game, and the Bucks had it in the bag. It just let it literally slip through their fingers, man. It literally slipped through their
because
fingers.
that was their chance. That was their chance to go
It
on.
was.
I think there's three things with the Bucks that I don't understand. Like Budenholzer, I don't understand his or I guess Giannis being like, oh, I do what the coach. He says that a lot, like a lot of, oh yeah, the coach was telling me this is our assignments. I feel like, okay, maybe second and third quarter, you're not trying to get fouls because Katie probably would have attacked him. But in the fourth quarter, you got to be like, look, man, because they had a decent lead going into the fourth quarter. So it's like, look, man, I'm gonna just nip this in the bud. Let's get to a sizable lead and then let's go home and try to close it out at home. That's one thing. Second thing is, at the end of the games, love Giannis, great finisher at the rim. But he doesn't need to be involved in pick and rolls with Chris Middleton because Chris Middleton is their most talented. He may not be their best player, but he's their most talented shot maker. And even with Chris Middleton, I actually thought on that last play he was going to go to the basket because he kind of got past KD. And I guess
crossed him up, dude.
Yeah, and I think it's just the mindset of Giannis's team. I'm going to give him the ball. I don't know what he was thinking, but he gave it to him, and Giannis just fumbled it. And the third thing, I really feel like. I don't know if there's a ceiling with the Bucks, but I feel like it's a mental thing with them. I think what they thought was when they were pressing on their necks the entire first three quarters, I think mentally they were thinking we got it. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I don't think they noticed Jeff Green was still hitting a lot of freaking shots. Kevin Durant was just heating up, and I think it just all came to a head. And they're I think it still goes 7, but I think they're mentally if they make it to the next round, I'm not picking them because I just don't think they got it. I just don't think they got it. I don't think they got it mentally. And I don't know how they're going to fix it because you traded everything for Drew Holiday.
They got no assets, man. All their picks are gone. All their future assets, they traded all for Drew Holiday. This is their team. And they're only getting older. They're only getting older. Unless Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton gets better. I already gave up on Giannis developing a jump shot because I've been waiting for that for a couple of years. Guy won an MVP and defensive player of the year. I don't think he's getting any better from that. And just watching this guy play in the playoffs, especially, he gets exposed, man. The lack of skill set, man. The lack of shooting touch. Even some of his little hook shot, it's ugly, man. It's pretty ugly. He's got no touch. No. He's got no shooter's touch. Everything's a little clank or whatever, unless he dunks the ball. And
at least develop your left hand. If he had a left hand in whichever way he could go, that alone would create so much. He could start floating over any shoulder, pretty much that he can make that decision. Man, I mean, Bazoo, it's almost like he tries a sky hook, but it turns into an ugly ass floater. If he developed, if he just decided this summer, I'm going to develop a vintage sky hook. I don't know who'd be able to stop that if he got consistent with it. He just has that one move, man. He tries a little step forward and then step around, and he's 2 steps, he's at the rim. But can he actually get around? There's Harden poking the ball away, because he has zero dribbling ability whatsoever. Harden did that a couple times. He picked his pocket. And look, man, if Harden's able to pick your pocket a couple times, you're doing something wrong on offense. Let's be honest. He's normally a red carpet to the basket, especially with a bad hamstring. They didn't take advantage, man. This was their opportunity. And now they gave Harden 2 extra days to rest and come back a little bit more rejuvenated. So I don't know.
Coach Budenholzer, man. He's not the guy. I'm sorry. He's not the guy, man. This is your opportunity. Yeah. When the stars align, you got to take advantage of situations, and your opponent's getting dealt really tough situations. You can't you see the East right now, Joel Embiid with his knee injury and all these injury with the big 3 and the Brooklyn Nets. It can't get any better for the Milwaukee Bucks right now. This is your opportunity right now. So you got to take advantage because if you're not going to win it this year, it's not going to happen in the future.
Yeah,
probably not. You can't count on all these injuries right now.
And a lot of young teams rising too, man. You got the Hawks coming in. I mean, I think they're down 20 right now against the 76ers here. But look, that's another team, Zoo. What do you think about that Trae Young 18 assist performance, man? That was
Trae Young in the playoffs, man. I thought size, physicality was going to really affect his game because this guy's more a regular season player. But man, this guy. He goes to superstardom right now because he's carrying that Hawks team right now.
Yep.
He's the primary ball handler, primary playmaker and primary scorer. Like his 3-point shot's not even falling right now, but he can affect the game in many different ways as far as his oop passing. Like if you watch that Atlanta game, you saw a bunch of oops that the Atlanta Hawks missed.
Yep.
Yeah, Clint Capella, John Collins, a bunch of missed beautiful passes. They just missed the dunk. I'm like, damn, this guy could have got 20-something assists if his teammates made some extra dunks. So what he's done against a Philly team that's just far more talented, more veterans, more stars, way more experience. They got all these nice veteran players. Seth Curry's been
money.
Dallas traded him for Josh Richardson. Seth Curry right now is balling right now in the playoffs. This guy is draining every three he gets. The perfect spot up shooter, especially in the playoff situation. That dude's been cash money. But man, the 76ers though, I don't trust that team because of Ben Simmons, man. He's got that. He's like a poor man's Giannis. Ben Simmons, obviously a better passer and better ball handler. Those are skills that he's just better than Giannis at. But as far as his scoring wise, he is so limited too. His
at least Giannis will shoot. Giannis at least shoot.
Yeah, Giannis gets aggressive when he gets down. He starts running to the basket and he's aggressive. And even if it's an ugly looking shot, he's attacking. Ben Simmons very passive. I feel like I got Embiid. This dude's a beast, dropping 40 points. He could be chilling, just dishing and diving. He doesn't even drive the score. He drives the pass. Tobias Harris. Seth Curry. I'm just Ben Simmons needs to be a guy to get 20 points and 10 assists in the playoffs for his team to win. So Atlanta Hawks, obviously young team. I give him no shot to beat the 76ers because 76ers are more talented. But we'll see it with Joel Embiid's knee injury if that hinders him, because I didn't think they were going to get 2 games on them. That's impressive by the Atlanta Hawks. Very impressive.
As we're talking about this, I'm pretty sure Embiid's got 22-7, and the first half isn't even over right now. So his knee, look, man, talk about another guy that's pushing through. KD obviously playing 48 minutes, Harden attempting it, and here comes Embiid, man. And he's lasting probably longer than the number 1 MVP in Jokic, who just got swept, as we know. And, Embiid coming through, having an MVP type season, and he's showing up and showing out. I know that the Hawks are way younger. They're the least experienced team that's in the playoffs right now, pretty much. And, the Hawks have been able to take advantage. I think sometimes the Sixers do get a little egotistical. I think sometimes they each want to be the guy, whether that be, I think Tobias Harris a lot too. He kind of doesn't like being the quote unquote third option on the team, even though Ben Simmons can't score. Everybody holds Simmons in a higher regard than Tobias Harris, just as an overall NBA player, usually. And do they have a chance against the Nets? Yeah, I think they legitimately do, especially if Harden's still nursing his injury. Kyrie's obviously out. I think the Sixers could beat the Bucks. I think that if the Bucks were to make it somehow and win 2 games in a row, I genuinely don't like any team coming out of the East right now. I get that the Nets they're healthy, but I think that either of any of the Western Conference teams, and we'll get to the Clippers situation obviously here shortly, but there's no team that I 100% trust coming out of the East. I would trust the Nets, but they have some injury issues. Who knows if Harden's gonna, hamstrings linger, man. He could tweak that at any second. Everybody knows that. So are the 76ers the best team out of the East, Stu? Do you think, taking into account the current situation? That's what I'm trying to wrap my mind around.
James Harden injured, if the Brooklyn Nets have 2 healthy stars, I'm taking them over the 76ers. With Harden with the hamstring injury, that's going to be tough because KD ain't dropping 50 points a night, man. And he might need to be dropping 30, 40 a night against the 76ers team. But my Lord, Ben Simmons, man, such a liability in the playoffs, man. Do you know what this dude's shooting 20-something% from the free throw line? He's worse than Shaq. He's worse than Ben Wallace, Dwight Howard, 20%, and he's a point guard. I don't know what he's doing, man.
All mental, man.
Him and Giannis are some of the most physically gifted basketball players,
Absolutely.
man. But man, they're a kryptonite of shooting. It is so bad because you can't have your point guard dropping single-digit points, man. You drop 4 points in a playoff game, man. 4 points. I know he does it all, but 4 points? Come on now.
If you're doing that, you got to be dropping at least 20 assists, in my opinion. And I know he passes the ball, he rebounds. Zoo, I will say, if the Sixers are out and running and they're in the fast break a lot. Ben Simmons could be one of the best point guards in the league in that situation.
Yeah, but this is the playoffs, man.
Exactly,
It's a half-court
exactly.
game. You got to be able to create.
And it just so happens that the Hawks are probably the only team that they'll play that allows them to even get into the fast break a little bit, because they're not as good defensively. I know that they've stepped up defensively throughout the year, the Hawks, but it's only going to get harder if the Sixers move on. They've had 2 pretty damn easy series, in my opinion. The Hawks have stole a couple games, but I'd say that the Sixers have more so blown those games rather than the Hawks just outright winning, especially game 4, man. I thought the
18-point lead. I was like, man, they got us in the bag.
They pulled a Bucks situation right there. Like you said, Zoo, I don't think the Hawks are going to pull this out. They could force 7. It's possible. It's been a very flip-floppy series with kind of just who's getting lucky towards the end of games. But right now, I mean, the Sixers are up, call it 30 points almost. Yeah, 26 points right now. So I think it's looking pretty solid that they're going to be going up 3-2 right here. So we'll see how Simmons is.
I think Ben Simmons, the difference between him and Giannis, just in regards of shooting, I feel like I have more confidence in Giannis, even though I wouldn't place a lot of confidence on Giannis, is because Giannis' form looks halfway decent, and he's at least trying.
What are you talking about?
It's way better than Ben Simmons.
It's ugly,
compared to Simmons, Andy.
Compared to Simmons, it's way. Now, it's not Bradley Beal, but it's compared to Simmons, it's awful. Because Simmons looks good at the free throw line, but if you see him actually shoot, it's awful. That's why he never shoots. That's why I'm more confident in Giannis.
Every time Giannis shoots, man,
Giannis is slow. Very slow.
Oh, it is aggravating. No fluidity, no touch. The 10-second violation.
How?
Which I don't even know why they call it
MVP. Yeah, because he takes such a damn time to think about missing his free throws, man. Ain't affecting his free throw percentage.
He needs to do a new routine.
Yeah, he needs a new routine, new form, new everything. Man, I don't know what you're talking about with Giannis's form, man. It is
But Giannis is trying. Ben doesn't even try. And I don't know why Ben doesn't try, because Ben had, what is his excuse? He should be putting in the work to shoot. Giannis, you can tell.
I personally think he's shooting with his wrong hand, man. Because every time Ben Simmons got a little floater, maybe that right hand looks a lot better than his lefty. But that's another topic, man. He needs to fix that form because, my God, Ben Simmons and Giannis, man. Did they have all the talent? They just got wasted talent and size and athleticism, man.
Yep.
What a shame, man. But man, going west though, the Clippers versus Utah series has been my favorite series so far.
Yeah.
Favorite series. Those games remind me a lot of the Clippers versus Dallas series. You see the one-man show and Donovan Mitchell versus the Clippers. But man, oh man, that Kawhi Leonard injury, man.
Ooh,
that hurts, man. Because I saw them making a comeback again when they were down 2-0. Just watching the game, I thought the Clippers were still the better team, and I felt like they will make the comeback and probably win it in 7 games over the Utah Jazz. But without the Terminator, man, they got no shot against this Jazz team. Even the Jazz without Mike Conley still with a hamstring injury, but without Kawhi Leonard, man, it's over for the Clippers.
Yeah? I mean, the Jazz are too good, man. I mean, they were the best 3-point shooting team in the league this year. They can get hot at any second. I thought even in game 4 there for a second, they kind of started, inching back, and then the Clippers did pull away. Paul George has been playing very nicely as of late.
He has.
And it's funny because everybody, whenever he has a bad game, every NBA fan's on him. He has a good game, nobody talks about him, right? So that's just how the media goes. That's how the fans go. They like to crap on the players that have historically done bad, right, or had bad instances.
PG's just not likable, man. He says some stupid stuff.
Exactly, that's fine. But look, he's had monster games the past couple games, and it's shown, and that's why they're back in this series. Can he keep them going? I think it'll come down to if Marcus Morris can have a big game. I think if Luke Kennard can have big games, they're going to need to just shoot. Reggie Jackson too, who's actually also
shooting lights
stepping up. He's shooting lights out. If they can get the entire team to come together, it's possible that they pull off, the win tonight. But look, the Jazz are going to take massive advantage of this situation, losing Kawhi. I mean, it didn't look like a big injury, but as we all know, ACL injuries, they don't always look that bad. Sometimes they can walk right off. We saw Rose tear his knee the second time and he walked off. Multiple instances of that. It doesn't always have to be extremely obvious and writhing on the ground. And that was an unfortunate example with Kawhi. I agree, though, Zoo. I think if anything, it might go 7. The Clippers might get lucky in one of these next two games just to force it, but I think with the home court advantage too, the Jazz will pull this one out and move on to
they're
face
monsters.
the Suns, man.
They're monsters at home. They're so good at home.
Yep, they're so good.
Like every time I see it on TV,
they got, man.
Yeah. Every time I see it on TV, it looks so like intimidating. So yeah, I could see them doing that, but
yeah, I got to shout outs to Ty Lue again with the, I don't know, game 3 adjustment. Something about Ty Lue, man.
He's finally doing it.
Yeah, I'm like, I see the rotations, like the defense on Donovan Mitchell improved substantially. They were running a zone. They were double teaming him. They were making it tough on Donovan Mitchell to get off his 3-point shots because Donovan Mitchell, he's become an elite 3-point sniper, man.
Yeah.
Like off the screen, if he gets like a decent look, he's jacking it up and it's looking good. Like he's really improved that 3-point shot right now. So I'm just like, damn, Donovan Mitchell, man, it's time for you to get – no, this guy's smelling, but unlike those guys in the East and Giannis and Ben Simmons, man, Donovan Mitchell, that dude's a baller in the playoffs, man. His skill level is so high. Like this dude's a 6'1" guard, man. And he's the reincarnation of Dwayne Wade, and he's looking real nice, man.
With a 3-pointer. Let's add that asterisk on there.
Yeah, man. Like what Donovan Mitchell has done with, because I still think this Utah Jazz team, talent-wise, like he doesn't have a second guy with Donovan Mitchell. Like, he's just got a bunch of nice little like role players, nice starter level guys can hit an open three. But like the talent-wise, man, I'm not seeing there on the Utah Jazz there yet. Like you see Rudy Gobert doing a disappearing act the last 2 games, man. Like Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year, man, but he got to put up some buckets.
Zoo, it's also because half the time the Clippers are starting like 5 small forwards, and who the hell is he going to guard?
Smart.
What do you do? But hey, look who he would have to play in the next round. And I guarantee if him versus DeAndre Ayton will be a hell of a matchup if they make it to the Western Conference Finals and face off with the Suns. I think that if and I know we haven't gotten into it, but the whole CP3 situation, if he does miss time because of this COVID protocol, it's going to be all on Booker and Ayton, man. And that's bad. Hey, you're removing pretty much your MVP by taking Chris Paul out of that series. You know, maybe LeBron put it called Adam Silver, who knows? But look, the whole situation with CP3, I don't understand it. I mean, I don't think we even know all the details quite yet as a fan base.
Yeah, the report said that he's vaccinated.
LeBron got put in COVID protocol, wasn't asked to miss any time.
That's what I don't understand. CP3 doesn't have enough clout to get that. Like, come on. Isn't he like head of the NBA?
He's the president. He's the president.
Why is it clout in the first place, though? It should just be standard protocol. If they're calling it a protocol, treat it like a protocol and don't be. But I'm saying like, right?
I know, but it's like I feel like LeBron, he got it because he's LeBron. CP3 should get it because he's CP3. He shouldn't be like treated like. I love Ja Morant, but Ja Morant's only been in the league for 2 years. CP3's been in the league forever. He shouldn't be missing games. Like that's just I don't know.
No, but look, I think that of all the matchups, if let's just use hypothetical that the Jazz do make it, I'm very much looking forward to Ayton versus Gobert, man, because we saw a solid matchup with Gobert early in the playoffs against Valanciunas, and he stepped up offensively. Zoo, he had a nice offensive series against another solid big man. And now he's going up against one of the best young big men in the league, 20-10 guy, been pivotal for the Suns in the playoffs, sweeping the Nuggets, man. Sweeping
that
the MVP.
Series was unwatchable, man.
Unwatchable,
man.
The best part of the series was when Jokic's brothers were going to run out onto the court and help him, dude. They were ready to fight. But look, there's really not much to say about that Suns Nuggets series other than CP3 was balling in that series.
25-10. Like he looks fully recovered from that shoulder injury.
And then he gets put in COVID protocol, man. So let's hope he only has. I mean, they do have a lot more time. The Western Conference Series. Let's hope it goes 7.
Fingers crossed for 7 games, man. That's what I'm thinking.
7-game series. Let's hope we can get that. I'd rather see the Jazz now if Kawhi's out. I would have rather seen them play the Clippers because I think that would just be a very athletic series, very up and down, running a lot of 3-point shooting. But look, man, the Jazz are a threat, and if they knock off the Suns, man, with CP3, if he comes back, I'm not hating on the Jazz anymore, man, because without Mike Conley and they're doing what they're doing, it's pretty mind blowing, to be honest.
It's incredible. Donovan Mitchell, man, that's the reason, because this dude is in superstar territory now. This guy's close to All NBA now.
Yeah, he didn't make All NBA.
He didn't make All NBA.
I mean, I don't know who he would take off.
Regular season award to, it's kind of So,
they had Bradley Beal over Donovan Mitchell. I don't know about that, but
I mean, he only averaged 24 in the regular season this year, which I mean,
And Bill was like second in scoring, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason they gave it to him. And I feel like maybe if Beal had missed the playoffs, they might have switched him, but he snuck in at the last second, got the nod, and had a better, offensive season, even though the Jazz were balling and they had the best record.
In the whole league, yeah.
So yeah, in the league, right? But
he'll get his crazy,
he'll get his nod next year, though. That's for sure,
man. But the thing is, man, not making that All NBA team cost him $33 million in a potential supermax extension. Man, him and Jason Tatum are probably the two most likely to make an All NBA third team. But both of the young guys struck out. But probably the Jazz and Celtics are like, hell yes, man. We don't gotta ruin our cap, baby. We get some better free agents, man. They are probably crossing their fingers.
And God knows the Celtics need it. Let's be honest.
Oh man, yeah, a disaster in the Boston Celtics going out.
I think this may be the first year, and God knows how long. Like, I honestly don't know who's going to make it to the finals.
Dude, I have no idea.
Like
college-esque right now.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Especially with the injuries. Like, the injuries just balance the parity as far as like talent gaps right now. But yeah, right now you got the Suns. Right now, who's looking like the favorite out the West right now. Like, the Suns are looking like the favorite. Yeah. Obviously, Brooklyn Nets, they're the favorite if they're healthy. But, man, they're not healthy right now. So, who knows, man? But all I know is that Giannis ain't winning a chip, man. He ain't winning a chip.
No.
Right now, unless he develops something in the next couple of weeks. But, oh, my gosh, man.
Yeah.
Who knows? He could come out. He could come out and actually shoot over 50% from the field again, and shoot well from the free throw line. It's possible. I just don't have faith in it, man. I don't have faith in it.
Go ahead.
I don't feel like he has like the intangibles, man. Like the intangibles. Yeah. I don't think every time I watch Donovan Mitchell play, like this dude just got the swagger, the leadership ability. Like his teammates has full trust in this dude. And I saw that when he was a rookie, man. Like this dude was balling as a rookie. And you see those leadership intangibles and that scoring mentality. And I watch Giannis, like his stats are good and all because he just gets a bunch of dunks and he's just an athletic freak, but as a basketball player. It's just not skilled enough, man.
You know what it is? It's because he's not like Donovan knows if he knows he's unguardable because he can shoot the three. He knows if he gets to the rack and gets fouled, he's going to make his free throws. Giannis can't shoot and he can't make free throws, so he's not as confident. That's why I think he fumbled in that last second because he was like, or not.
He was ready to get fouled.
That and the Harden play, which people were talking about earlier in the show, like. He did that move, and I could kind of see it, like he wasn't backing him down as strong enough. And I was like, he don't want to go to the line. He don't want to go to the line. That's why he did a fadeaway and hope it was going to go in. It's like, wow.
You're trying to back down one of the worst all-stars and future Hall of Famers that at defense, and he has a bad hamstring, and you don't take advantage. I don't.
He probably would have got a hand one.
Yeah, exactly. He probably could have. That's what he needs to do, man. He just needs to I don't know if he obviously is a strong guy down there, but. He needs to just and one like every time he's fouled. That's what he needs to do. Or they just need to run more for Chris Middleton. That's just Budenholzer did not manage that, and his players did not handle it. It was just poor offense and defense, to be honest, in that entire second half of that.
And Giannis's post game, he doesn't really have a post game, man.
No,
like his back to the basket game is very, very weak. Like his face up game is nice because he just uses athleticism, faces up, gets a whole full head of steam, and just drives by. He did that to Blake Griffin a couple of times. But when he does his back to the basket move, very robotic, very ugly looking, no skill, no finesse. I'm just like, oh my God, Giannis needs to develop his skill set. His skill set is just not there.
What's the guy? LeBron went down. He needs to go have a summer with Hakeem in Houston.
Hakeem Olajuwon?
Just have 2 months. 2 months down there in Houston or wherever he's staying, he'll be fine. But until he does that, or like I said, I don't know who he's training with. I don't know his schedule, but you can tell he's just a physically dominant player, but he's not super skilled. And it's just biting him in the butt because I honestly think if Giannis didn't become who he was and Chris Middleton was maybe catered into that position more, they might be on a better. They probably would be up 3-2 because Chris Middleton, if you watch him, like his bag is net. Like he's got mid-range, long.
He has some tough shots, man.
Like
he's the guy that hits like the tough 3 points with the hand in the face. I'm just like, man, that is nasty. Like, he's got good handles. He's got a good jump shooter, mid-range game, 3-point game. Like he has the most skills on the team, but I'm like. Chris Middleton
run the ball through him.
Yeah.
You don't have to give it to your franchise player, right? And Giannis, you don't have to do that.
That's why I said have a thing where Giannis is setting the screen and then he can decide, like Chris Middleton.
Probably
can
Giannis setting a screen. You're gonna give him a wide open mid range though. If he pulls up like pick and pop, nobody's out there, man. Blake Griffin's got his ass. That's when that drop coverage works real well, man. Because he's just not a threat.
He's not making that. Yeah.
Oh my God, Giannis, man. You gotta learn to shoot, or you're never gonna win a ring.
But the good thing about the NBA playoffs, and which I like with series, he does have a chance to redeem himself. So we'll see if he can maybe rise to the occasion in Game 6, and then ironically enough, Game 7, I think because he just crapped the bed so bad in Game 5. I don't know if there really be any pressure on him because I think by then, I don't know, Kyrie may come back. I'm not sure.
I don't know. That ankle sprain looked bad.
You got a high ankle?
High ankle sprain, man.
It looked bad. I feel like he's going to be out the entire series. That's why Harden came back to try to get this done as fast as possible to get some rest.
And shoot 10% from the field.
He has some. Hey, dude, that first half was atrocious. He was chucking balls out of bounds on his passing, but the second half, man, he was playing point pretty well. Like people cutting. He was a primary ball handler because only so much KD can do as a scorer and passer. Like it just gave the Nets a second primary ball handler because they got no other point guards out there.
And once again, man, got to give another shout out to Jeff Green. Just he comes out of nowhere in the playoffs, man. Did it with the Celtics, man. Hit some great shots. So another shout out to Jeff Green, man.
Yeah, man. Jeff Green's he's solid.
He's
I don't know how old he is, but yeah, he's a super solid veteran. Yeah, he can shoot the three, he can D up a little bit, and he has the wisdom to know where he's going to be at on the floor, which is
very
valuable because
too.
He's not a super rah guy. That's his motto. So, like I said, with the playoffs, man, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm hoping with CP3 he's able to get back. With the COVID protocol and things like that. Tough break for the Clippers and that series and things like that. So, but we're gonna see.
Man.
I guess pandemic P.
Can't make it to the conference finals.
See what he can do. Yeah.
That
is just so. That's what I'm saying, man. If Kawhi, I'm out. You can't tell me that franchise is not cursed. Literally, the floodgates opened for them, and it's just snatched, and within 15 minutes. Yeah.
They got exactly what they wanted, man. They dropped seeding so they didn't have to play the Lakers. The Lakers didn't even move on, man. You got the Jazz who are missing their second best scorer pretty much.
Yeah, Mike Conley.
You got the rough 76ers team that's not consistent enough. You got the young Hawks team. You got Bucks inconsistency, and you got an injured Nets team, man. It was their year.
Yeah. It was their year, man.
Prayers up for Kawhi, man. Let's hope it's not too serious.
Man, all these injuries right now, man. It's crazy what's happening in the NBA right now. And a couple more casualties at the coaching side of things, man. Van Gundy out because after that pathetic season, and Scott Brooks out in a matter of an hour. Both these guys got canned, man. What do you think about Van Gundy getting sent out, man?
Bad news day for the NBA.
Good riddance for Van Gundy. I don't know if he just kind of outdated himself with coaching. I just think his tactics are not for what the league is. Because I think most coaches that are successful in the league right now, they have a sense of what the players are. You can't be Thibodeau is really the only guy, and from what I've seen, he's a players coach, even though he's very rigid and he plays his guys a lot of minutes. He's still a good players coach. You got to be geared towards that. I think with Van Gundy, he couldn't coach Dwight Howard when he was in Orlando. What makes you think he's going to be able to do Zion and Brandon Ingram? I don't think he was doing that well. So I hope they get a coach who can unleash their defensive side of the ball for the New Orleans Pelicans so they could actually become a threat in the West, because that's what's holding them back. They got the talent to score. They just can't defend anybody. And I don't understand because you got Zion, who's super athletic, Brandon Ingram, who's super long. I don't get it. So I don't know.
Crazy part is Van Gundy got hired last year. So he got a long-term deal, and 1 year later he gets fired. He's still getting paid out the rest of his contract. So I'm just damn, they must have really hated each other. David Griffin's first hiring.
It's the same situation that the Wizards, man. It's two teams that have great offenses with solid. Two great players at their respective teams, but their coaches just can't force them to play defense. They can't rile the team up, light the fire underneath them to at least just give an effort. Look what Thibodeau, like you said, Sean, what he did with a young New York Knicks team that had zero guidance. And in 1 year, he turned them into one of the best defensive teams, making the playoffs for the first time since 2012, I think, if I remember correctly. It's just Thibodeau's the man. And there's some you can't ride only on offense nowadays. I think some coaches think that that's possible. No shot.
You know what I think it is with Thibodeau too, though. He's like a big guy, so they might be scared of him because he looks like
That's
he would
true.
like if you like back
Deep
if you like
voice.
went back. Yeah, Thibodeau like
Voice.
his neck is like a cinder block. Like he looks like he would like mess you up if you
For sure.
kind of like testy with him. So that might be part of the reason why he has that influence on players. I don't know, but I don't know. I also think with the Wizards, they're in a little bit more of a different situation because. I mean, Westbrook's still putting up numbers and doing what he's supposed to do, but I don't know how long Bradley Beal is going to be there. I know he says all the right things, but
Yeah, he got one more year
2 years
on his contract, so he
And
could
then-
be on the move.
Yeah, so it's kind of like as a coach, I don't know if I want that job. I definitely would take the Pelicans job over that one, but I don't know. It's just both of those teams need to learn how to play defense. They need to demand more from their stars, and
Play together.
I think play together.
Chemistry.
Because for me, I just think with the Pelicans, there's no excuse they weren't in the playoffs. Like they got too much talent.
Play in tournament. A young Spurs team had more wins than a team with
And I can't even
Zion,
name
Brandon
who's on
Ingram,
that
and
team.
Lonzo.
And
That
that's the
team-
difference in coaching. That's the
Yeah,
difference in
yeah.
coaching.
I look at that Spurs roster. It's garbage, man. You got DeMar DeRozan, a bunch of young dudes,
DeRozan,
man.
Yeah.
DeRozan, a bunch of young guys that they drafted. I'm just like,
Yeah.
the talent from the Pelicans to the Spurs, man, inexcusable. That's why he got fired for missing the
Yeah.
play-in tournaments.
Pretty
But
sad.
I think at the end of the day, they're probably going to get pretty solid head coaches, and they'll, I have more faith in the Pelicans figuring out than the Wizards, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Maybe Calipari. He said he wants to enter back into the NBA coaching, man.
Calipari? I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I want a
be the
young
worst
blood.
hire for either team, man.
Yeah, I want a young blood, probably a new assistant coach to join the Bloods, man. Instead of like hiring a coach that gets fired over and over, like we also have Mike D'Antoni wants the Portland Trailblazers job. Makes a lot of sense. Dame Dollar, who doesn't want to coach Dame Dollar? Seeing Terry Stotts get fired because, man, God, that dude got an embarrassing job with the Portland Trailblazers. But man, we'll see, man. A lot of coaching vacancies out there, man. A lot of coaching vacancies.
Will be a lot of coaching hires to come, and I think there's going to be. I would like to see more assistants get opportunities, just new blood to see. Because I mean, even though Nate McMillan's probably the only one that kind of got recycled this year, and he actually got the teams to play off.
Dude, he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah,
I still don't know why Indiana fired his ass because he was coaching the Indiana team real well.
Yeah,
and their team was just not that good, and he got them in the playoffs like every year.
And then they fired their coach after a year. So it's like, I don't know.
Make a decision.
I don't even know who that guy was.
Come on, Larry.
I have no idea.
I don't even know that dude's name.
Yeah. I think he was an assistant with the Raptors, maybe. I'm not sure. But, yeah, he got fired after a year. So, I guess it just depends on how you can cater to your stars, man. If you can get that relationship with your stars and get that buy-in, you're going to be fine. Because I think all the teams that are in the playoffs now, I would say most of the teams in the playoffs now, the head coach has buy-in from their star players. So you got to get that first. That's the league. It's not the NFL. NBA is a whole lot different. But on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Like I said, I have no idea who's going to be in the NBA championship game this year. It's going to be a lot of different storylines, a lot of different scenarios. So you got to tune into the Bullheaded Podcast to see what we talk about and see what happens with all these series. Make sure you guys subscribe to our Apple, Spotify, Anchor, subscription-based types of platforms. On Apple, make sure you guys give us 5-star reviews. I've seen 1 or 2, which I appreciate you guys doing that. It gets us, like I always say, it's in the algorithms. Make sure you follow us on Bullheaded_pod. A lot of heavy NBA content, especially with KD's game. Put a reel of that up there today. So I'm just going to be pumping out a lot of NBA content. And as usual, for me, P. Bush and Zoo, we're out.